sit yourself in a comfortable upright position, cross-legged or on your knees. And sit up right from the lower back, so tilting the pelvis forward slightly, so you're sitting on the sitting bones, not on the tailbone. Draw your low belly in, lift your chest, roll the shoulders down and back, feeling your whole torso being tall and wide, really taking up your full space. And then close your eyes and just take a few moments to arrive in your body, arrive in the moment, letting go of the day so far, letting go of whatever you need to do after class. And just setting an intention to be here in this moment with this breath and this body. And we'll take 3 deep intentional breaths together. Inhale, breathing right down deep into the belly, really use the diaphragm. And exhale again, feeling the sitting bones dropping down. Inhale, breathing wide into the sides and the back of the rib cage. And exhale, draw the shoulder blades down and back. And one more time, inhale, right down deep into the belly, all the way out into the sides, back of the lungs, all the way up to the top. And exhale, let it go, let everything go. Allow the breath to return to its normal level, just breathing in and out through the nose for the rest of the practice. And then open your eyes, interlace your hands in front of you, take a breath in, and breathing out, push the palms away, tips of the thumbs touching, little fingers crossed, draw the belly in and up, take another breath in. On the out breath, start to move the arms in the shoulder sockets, lifting the arms all the way up, and finding that movement in the shoulders, resisting the urge to go into a back bend, noticing how that feels, noticing any tightness there, and then lifting up out the waist, lengthening the sides of the body, so the shoulder blades slide upwards, coming up towards the ears. And you can squeeze the upper arms in towards each other as you resist away with the heels of the hands, creating a lot of torque, tension in the arms, really strong, lifting up, keeping the breath flowing smooth in and out through the nose. And then allow the arms, shoulders down, release the hands, release the legs if you've got them crossed, and switch them to the other way, other shin in front. Again, sit yourself up from the lower back, tilt the pelvis forward, draw the belly in, lift the chest, roll the shoulders down and back. Just take a couple of breaths here, allowing the body to settle, inhaling up through the crown of the head, and exhale, again drawing the shoulders down and back. And you're going to interlace the hands the other way, other thumb on top, take a breath in, and breathing out, push the palms away. Keep the belly drawing in and up as you inhale, and on an exhale, bring the arms up, stabilizing the torso, perhaps arriving at your maximum extension with a little more ease the second time. Really lifting up out the waist, shoulder blades slide up, biceps by the ears, squeeze the upper arms towards each other, resist away with the hands. Keep that belly drawing in, lengthening the sides of the body, and the breath flowing smoothly in and out. And then slowly allow the arms to come down. Release your legs and make your way up to a standing position. So stand with the big toes together, spread the toes nice and wide, bring the body weight back slightly so the hips are stacked over the heels. Engage the quadriceps, so actively straightening the legs, lifting the kneecaps, drawing the low belly in, lifting the front points of the pelvis up a little bit, lifting the chest, rolling the shoulders down and back, and extending the fingertips down towards the floor. Bending mountain pose, rising up through the inner arches of the feet, kneecaps lifted, hip points lifted, lifting the chest, lifting the crown of the head, really taking up your full height. And then extend the arms out to the sides, turn them in the shoulder sockets, really find that full external rotation. And then lift all the way up, shoulder blades sliding up, lengthening as much as you can, but keeping the rest of the alignment. So the body weight still back over the heels, kneecaps still lifted, belly drawing in, and then stretch, lengthen up. If you're hanging from the ceiling, how long would you be? And then keeping that lift, that length, allow the arms to come down all the way. All right, hands on hips, bend the knees, step or hop to a wide stride for the second warrior pose. Begin with 2 heels in one line, outside edges of the feet parallel, body weight back over the heels. Engage those quadriceps, lift the front points of the pelvis, draw the belly in, lift the chest, draw the elbows back. Turn the left foot in a little bit and the right foot out all the way. Inside edge of the foot parallel with the edge of the mat, 4 corners of the torso facing the front. So we're going to go in and out just a few times to wake up those muscles, get the blood flowing. So take the mind before we start to the back foot, really push that heel down, engage that quadricep. Inhale, lift the chest, exhale, bend your right knee, inhaling up and exhaling down. And as you do this bending movement, keep that knee pushing towards the little toe side of the foot, don't let it fall in. Keeping the belly drawing in and up and the chest lifted. Okay, just one more of those, and then next time you're at the top, just stop, inhale, outstretch the arms, extend, really broaden across the chest, draw the belly in one more time, lift the chest up on an inhale and exhale down into your posture. Mind to the back foot, push the heel down, engage that quadricep, draw the belly in, lift the chest, and turn the head to look along the right arm. Really long fingers, wide palms, extending the hands, extending the arms, keeping the breath flowing smoothly, pushing that right knee a little bit out towards the right. And lifting the chest one more, dropping the shoulders down away from the ears, and perhaps sitting down a little bit more, bending that right knee. And bring your gaze to the front, straighten your right leg, turn that foot round, rest your arms down, check you've still got 2 heels in one line, body weight back over the heels, engage the quadriceps, draw the belly in, lift the chest, and now the right foot in slightly and the left foot out all the way. Fully rotate that leg, torso still facing the front, hands on hips, belly in, chest lifted as we inhale, mind in the back foot, exhaling down and inhaling up. So really engaging this right leg now, keeping that quadricep engaged, keeping that heel pushing down, and the left knee pushing back towards the little toe side of the foot. Perhaps finding a little bit more depth with each repetition. And then just one more, and next time you're at the top, just hold it there. Inhale, outstretch the arms, and exhale, sitting down into your posture. So torso rising directly up from the hips, we're not leaning over to the side. Draw the belly in, lift the chest, shoulders down, and extend the arms, and turn your head to look along your left hand. So again, long fingers, wide palms, engagement all the way to the fingertips. Take the mind back to the right foot, push the heel down one more, lift up the inner arch, lift the kneecap, draw the belly in, lift the chest, drop the shoulders down away from the ears, pushing your left knee towards the little toe side of the foot, and perhaps just sitting down a little bit more to that left side. Keeping the breath flowing, and then gaze to the front, straighten the left leg, turn the foot round, and step or hop back to mountain pose. Spread your toes, body weight back, lift the chest, and extend the fingertips down to the floor. All right, hands on hips, bend the knees, step or hop, wide stride, extended side angle pose. Turn your left foot in and the right foot out. Fully rotate that leg, torso facing the front. Draw the belly in, lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, sit down to hopefully a 90-degree position here. Before we go anywhere else, re-engage that back foot. Really push the heel down and engage that quadricep. Draw the belly in and then slowly bring your right elbow to your right knee. Maintaining space here so we're not collapsing down. There should be space between your body and your thigh and between your ear and your shoulder. And you can use that elbow to pull that knee back, find that external rotation, really draw the belly in and turn the tummy and the chest up towards the ceiling, taking the top arm up and over and extend. You can keep that elbow on the knee or bring the fingertips down to the floor behind the foot. You've got the fingertips down, push the knee back into the elbow. You've still got your elbow on the knee, use that elbow to push the knee back. Turn the tummy and the chest up one more, extending through to the fingertips, really stretch the whole side of the body, engaging that left quadricep, and then bring the gaze back to the front. Keep the knee bent, come up through warrior two, and then straighten the leg. Bring the arms down, check you've still got two heels in one line, wave it back over the heels, engage the quadriceps, hands on hips, draw the elbows back, turn the right foot in slightly, and the left foot out all the way, fully rotating it there. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, sit down now to the left. So again, before we go anywhere, take the mind to the back foot. Push the heel down one more and really engage that quadricep. And set the intention to keep that engagement with the anchor. As we bring the body over to the side, this leg can kind of go to sleep, but keep it active and working. Then drawing the belly in, we're going to bring left elbow to the left knee. Again, maintaining that space between the body and the leg and the arm and the shoulder, no slumping down, and then using that elbow to open the hip a little bit more, pushing the elbow back, using the elbow to push the knee back. Draw the belly in, turn the tummy and the chest up, and extend the top arm up. Stretch, and you can bring the gaze up towards the ceiling as well if you wish. Either leave the elbow on the knee or bring the elbow down beside the foot, but check you don't collapse as you do that. No weight in that hand. Push the knee back into the elbow, or use the elbow to push the knee back if you've still got it on the thigh. Draw the belly in, turn the tummy and the chest up. Really stretch that right arm, lengthen from heel to armpit to fingertips, and then bring your gaze to the front. Keep the knee bent. Come up through warrior two. Straighten the leg. And then step or hop your feet back to your mountain pose. Spread your toes, body weight back, lift the chest, and roll the shoulders down and breathe. Inhaling up through the crown of the head, and exhaling down to the fingertips. Okay, step your feet to a hip distance for chair pose. Spread the toes wide, body weight back over the heels, engage the quadriceps. Two options with the arms: either keep the hands on the hips with the elbows drawing back, or take the arms up by the ears. If the arms are up by the ears, they are indeed, and in fact, actually by the ears. They're not kind of floating out down here. We're not doing ballet. We're using the muscles to lift as much as possible and lengthen the torso. Draw the belly in, lift up out of the waist, and sit down into your chair pose, keeping the body weight back through the heels. And just imagine that we're going to be sitting down onto a chair. Keep the knees tracking directly above the ankles so we're not going in and out, and the belly is drawing so strongly in towards the spine. So check out your arms. Are they here? Can you bring them back here? Really use the back muscles to support the weight of the arms, long fingers, wide palms, sitting down a little bit now, body weight still back through the heels. Can you bring it back even more? Draw the belly in towards the spine, lift the chest up, sit down one more time, and then stand up. Release the arms, spread the toes, body weight back, chest lifted, and breathe. Again, we'll go this time with feet together, so hands on hips or up by the ears. Lift up out of the waist, keep the body weight in the heels as you sit down, this time with the legs together. Again, keeping the belly in, keeping the chest lifted, really using those back muscles. Can you bring the body weight back into the heels anymore? Sitting down, belly in, lift the chest more, long fingers, wide palms. Bring the arms back more, really use those back muscles. And then lift up all the way. Bring the arms out and down and breathe. Extending down to fingertips. Okay, step or hop your feet to medium stride for your warrior one. So we're going to turn all the way to the side this time. Pick up the left toes, turn them in, left heel out, right foot turns out all the way. Hands on hips, and actually bring the heels of your hands to the points of your hips. And just see if you can really square those hips with the edge of the mat. So trying to get the left hip forward and the right hip back, squeezing the inner thighs together, really squeezing this left glute, so sending the tailbone down. It wants to kind of come up, but really squeeze that down, pushing the heel down. And then draw the belly in, take the arms up by the ears again, lift up out of the waist, keep the back leg engaged as you sit down to the right. Once you've bent your knee, again, see if you can find that inner thigh squeezing action, bringing that back hip forwards a little bit more. Really squeeze your left glute, sending the tailbone down as you lift up out of the waist, lengthening the torso as much as possible. You can hold it here if you wish, or you can take it into a back bend, slowly tracing the fingers back along the ceiling, keeping the breath flowing. You bend that front knee a little bit more, and then straighten your right leg, and the feet round, come to face the front, hands on hips. We go to the other side, so you're going to pick up right toe in, left heel out, and turn the left foot out all the way. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Again, bring your hands to the hip points. Really square off those hips. Squeezing the right glute now. Send the tailbone down, lifting up the front of the pelvis. Draw the belly in, and inhale the arms up above the head. Lift up out of the waist, and then bend now your left knee, keeping contact with the right heel, pushing down, right thigh engaged, and then squeeze the inner thighs together again. Squeeze the right glute, send the tailbone down as you lift up out of the waist, lengthening the torso. And you can hold it here or take it into a back bend, tracing the fingertips along the ceiling, stretching the front of the body even more, lifting up before you go back. Bend your front knee a little bit more if you can. And then bring your gaze to the front. Straighten your left leg, turn the feet round, and come back to the mountain pose. Spread the toes, body weight back, lift the chest, and extend the fingertips down towards the floor. Okay, step or hop to a wide stride, wide leg forward bend. If you have blocks or the seat of a chair or a sofa or something that you can face to put your hands on, if your hamstrings are tight, please set yourself in that orientation. And then start with 2 heels in 1 line. Engage the quadriceps, draw the belly and bring the hands onto the hips. Inhale, lift up out of the waist, lengthening the front of the body as much as possible. Exaggerate it, go into a back bend here. And then exhale, coming forwards as far as you can without rounding your lower back. So if you put your hand to the small of your back now, it should be concave, not convex. That might mean that you're up here. That's fine, only go so far as you can without rounding. And then you're going to inhale up and exhale down. And maintaining that the torso stays completely isolated and still. In fact, you could do this with your hands on your lower back and feel there that you're not allowing it to go convex. Therefore, you're finding the movement in the pelvis. You're not moving your spine to get any further down, but isolating the movement in the pelvis. Using the glutes here to lift the body up and down. And then coming down to your bottom position wherever you can without rounding. Push the heels down, engage the quadriceps, draw that belly in towards the spine, lift the chest up a little bit more, keeping the breath flowing, and see if you can turn the tailbone just a smidge up towards the ceiling. And then bringing your hands down either onto the floor or onto blocks or a lift, the seat of a chair or whatever, so that you can maintain that concave lower back. And then from here, just see if you can increase that back bend and bring your lowest rib a little bit further towards the ground. So you're keeping the head and chest lifted, you're still looking forward, but the lowest rib comes a little bit further down. Keep the belly drawing in towards the spine and the breath flowing, and then you might want to hold it here, or if you can come further down and that's appropriate for you, then feel free to do so, keeping the front of the body really long. So imagine that you're trying to draw your chest and your head forwards rather than down, staying in a back bend, keeping the legs engaged, keeping the belly in, finding that stretch in the hips and the back of the legs. Okay, and then start to heel toe your feet towards each other until they come to hip distance. Bend your knees a lot. Bring your hands to your hips, take a couple of deep breaths here, draw the belly in, and then on an inhale, come all the way up. And step your feet together, spreading your toes, body weight back, lift the chest, roll the shoulders down and back. Okay, I want you to all come to either a bit of a wall or the back of a sofa or a windowsill or something that you can put your hands on at this height. Essentially, we're going to be going into a supported version of Warrior 3. So higher is better. You don't want it to be too low, but the back of a chair or something is fine depending on what you've got available. And just bend to it briefly just to get your measurement. So if you're on the wall, you want to be able to have your hands flat on the wall and the torso kind of straight like this. So if that's impossible for you to get down that far without rounding your lower back, bring the hands up to a point where you can not round. If you're using a support like back of a chair or something, you can rest this side of your hands on the chair. Anyway, whichever position you're in, I want you to be able to do that. And so just measure so that you can get to a good length with it, so you're not kind of here or too far away. So the legs should be pretty much vertical with your support, and then stand up without moving backwards and forwards. Get your feet hip distance apart, turn the toes in slightly outside edges of the feet parallel, body weight back over the heels, engage the quadriceps, squeeze the glutes, send the tailbone down, draw the belly in, lift the chest, inhale, lift up out of the waist, lengthen, and then exhale, come forwards really slowly, keeping the front of the body long, bringing your hands to your support, and draw the belly in, really keeping the length of the front body. So resist the urge to collapse here, but you're trying to turn the tailbone up a little bit. Bend your knees a little bit if you need to, if that's gonna make it easier. But if you check out your lower back, again, should be concave, not convex. Belly should be really working, drawing the belly in and lengthening the torso. So you can push into the wall a little bit and work the hips away, keeping the torso long and the breath flowing. If you can, or in fact, everyone bend the knees a little bit, turn the tailbone up towards the ceiling a little bit more, and then just see if you can re-straighten the legs with that new rotation of the pelvis. Again, extending the hips away, lengthening the front of the body. And then keeping the body down, draw the belly in, transfer the hands to the hips, and inhale up. And then bring your feet together now. We'll do the same thing, and now we're going to go into lifting the leg. So draw the belly in, inhale, lift the chest, lift up out of the waist. Exhale, come down to your support again. Check your back is in a concave position. And then we're going to be lifting the right leg, but your hips should stay exactly stable. So really engage everything, draw the belly in, and then slowly start to lift your right leg up behind you, maintaining those the squareness of your hips. Keep the belly drawing in, still work the hips away from the wall, lengthening the torso. Your left leg, if necessary, can be slightly bent just to ease off on the hamstrings, and the right leg up in line. And then you're going to be drawing that right hip down towards the floor to keep the hips stable, and you should feel the outside of the left glute really working to support that position. And then bring that leg down, draw the belly in, and stand up to your mountain pose. And then we'll go to the other side, draw the belly in, inhale, lift up out the waist, lengthen, and forwards and down into your forward bend. Belly in, tailbone up towards the ceiling. And then we're gonna take the left leg up, so stabilize everything, really thinking about keeping that pelvis still as you lift now the left leg up and back. Left leg is straight if possible. Right leg can have a micro bend if necessary. Bringing the left hip down towards the floor, trying to keep those hips square with the mat. You should really feel the outside of your right glute. Now working to stabilize this position. Lengthen the left heel away, lengthen the hips away from the wheel, keep the belly drawing in. A long torso, breath flowing, and you lift your left leg up a little bit more. And then gradually bring that left leg down, draw the belly in, hands on hips, and inhale up. So I don't know about you, but for me, doing it like that and actually really focusing on keeping that alignment actually works the hips more than doing it free, because when you're doing it free, you allow yourself to kind of adjust more and transfer your weight. But in this position, you're really asking the muscles to support this asymmetrical position is the word that I'm looking for. Okay, so come back to your mat if you have to leave it to find the wall. And we're going to do a little bit of one-legged balancing. So what did we do there? We lifted the right leg first. So I'm confusing myself. Transfer your weight to your right leg and lift the left leg up. And I want you to keep the hips open, so we're not doing this yet. So your knees should be close to each other with the foot behind you at that angle. And then purposefully allow your hips to go really out of line so that your left hip here really drops down and your right hip kind of pushes out to the side, and then correct that. So start to draw that right hip in a little bit, lifting the left hip up, drawing the belly in. And you should feel that that has to, again, activate this outer hip muscle, the glute med, to maintain that position. Draw the belly in, let's lift up out of the waist, lengthening the arms, and then keeping all of that position as it is, so really stabilizing the hips. Bring the left leg up to 90 degrees, and also using your other glute med, keep the breath flowing, lift up out of the waist, and then again bringing that foot back to where it was and all the way down. Release the arms, put the legs out a little bit, other side. So we're going to bring the right foot up, and again just kind of allow that to slump so that your left hip pushes out to the side, right hip goes down, and then feel what you need to do to correct that. So we're pushing the hip back over the foot and lifting this hip up in line, and you should then feel the muscle here, glute med, working to stabilize that position. Drawing the belly in, inhale the arms up above the head, lift up out of the waist, really stabilize, don't let the hips shift as you bring the right knee up in line, keep the belly drawing in, keep the chest lifted, really keep pushing that hip back over the foot, don't let it transfer all the way over to the side. And then again isolating, bringing that knee down and the foot down, and release, spread the toes, body weight back, lift the chest, and extend fingertips down towards the floor. All right, come to the top edge of your mat if you haven't already. Toes in, heels out, feet hip distance, body weight back over the heels, squeeze the glutes, draw the belly in, lift the chest, inhale the arms up out of the waist, lengthen, exhale down as far as you come without rounding, and inhaling up, squeezing the glutes. Doing that with your breath, using the glutes in the back of the body to support the weight of the torso, maintaining straight legs if possible, and maintaining a really long front body, so we're not rounding here at all. Length stays there. And biceps if possible staying by the ears, so not allowing the arms to droop down. And then next time you're at the bottom, hold it there. Bend your knees as much as you need to, and allow your torso to come down onto your thighs. Give your head a little bit of a shake and a nod. Just allow the crown of the head to come down. And really bend your knees as much as you need to get this connection between the stomach and the thighs. You can use the pressure of the belly on the thighs to really send the breath into the back of the body. And then you're going to step back into your first plank position. So legs are straight, feet are active, glutes are active, quadriceps are active. You're really squeezing the glutes to send the tailbone down and drawing the belly in. So like this might be a slightly more aesthetically pleasing plank, but I really want you to push into the floor, really activate the core, squeezing the glutes, making sure everything's really working. And then draw the head back away from the floor. So not extending the neck, not doing a back bend, but just drawing it up and away, using the deep neck flexors to hold the weight of the head, correct that iPhone neck, keeping the breath flowing, keeping that belly in, other glutes still squeezing. And then push yourself back into a down dog. Keep the knees bent, the heels up, turning the tailbone up towards the ceiling. You can walk it out a little bit if that feels good. Really push the floor away with the hands. So again, that sense of the shoulder blades sliding up towards the ears. In yoga, you often hear that you should like get the shoulders down away from the ears, which is in a position like this, total nonsense, because this is a pushing movement. You're trying to push the floor away. So allow the shoulder blades to slide all the way up. Find that strength in the arms. And the tailbone up towards the ceiling a little bit more. And then bring the knees down, knees wide, toes together, and bring the body down. You can relax here completely if that's what you need, or you can keep it a little bit active by engaging the arms, creeping the fingertips away from the body, pushing the hips down towards the heels, lengthening the torso, using this traction. And then coming up to a kneeling position. And do some work on the wrists, so let's just do some wrist rolls, getting them nice and warm. Okay, come to an all fours position with your knees at hip distance apart, underneath the hips. Really draw the belly in, push the floor away. Again, lifting the head up from the floor, so really active and strong in this position already. Again, we're gonna stabilize the hips, so really focus on keeping the hips in that position. Then bring your right heel up towards your hip as much as possible. So this should be work already, like squeezing your heel up towards your hip and then keeping that position as you lift the knee in line with the pelvis. So you should be really using now your right hamstring to squeeze that heel in and your right glute to keep the hip lifted. And then, but the hip should also be stable. So have a look down your body, see if you need to adjust that right hip down towards the floor, finding that stable position, keeping the belly in, keeping the floor pushing away with the hands and the arms, and the head drawing away from the mat. And then again, keep that hip stable as you draw the belly in and start to bring that knee up towards the arm, but again, without rounding the back. So how far can you bring that knee in without moving anything else? And then go back once more, keeping that heel squeezing, keeping the glutes squeezing, and in once more, and then come back to center, come off the wrists if you need to, give them a little move around, and go to the other side. So again, check that your knees are hip distance apart. I don't want you to bring the knees together. That will, well, you bring the knees together if you want to make it easier, but keeping the knees apart will require you to stabilize the side to side movement of your body more. Push the floor away, draw the head back, draw the belly in, take the left heel now towards the hip and really squeeze. Use that hamstring muscle, doesn't get much work in yoga. And then really stabilize everything as you lift the knee up in line. Keep the heel squeezing in. Have a look down your body, see if you need to readjust that hip. You probably do. Keep the arms strong, pushing the floor away. Really squeezing your glute as much as possible, squeezing the hamstring as much as possible, and then stabilize as you bring that left knee forwards. Don't allow yourself to round in the back. And then again, pushing the leg back. Don't allow yourself to go into a back bend, keeping the hip stable. And then one more time, forwards. And again, back. And then bring that knee down. And notice as you bring the knee down, do you then reshift your hips to the center as I just did? And that's kind of how much you're like counterbalancing to support that position. If possible, you wouldn't have that reshift back to the center. That's tricky. Okay, come again to your all fours position with your knees at hip distance. You're going to tuck the toes under, draw the belly in, and then just lift the knees up just an inch. You probably can't even see it, but my knees are up an inch, just for as if you could get a piece of tape under there, no more. Keep the belly drawing in, and then if you want to, you can lifting up one leg too straight, still trying to find that stable hip position, straightening that right leg, bring it back down, notice the shift if it's there, draw the belly in, and then lift up the left leg, keeping the pelvis stable, pushing the floor away, drawing the head back a little bit, and then left leg down, drop the knees, and just sit back on your heels. Give your wrists some love if they need it. So in that position, you're working thighs and hamstrings and core and arms. So hopefully you're finding it difficult and it's not just me. Okay, come forwards again and come into a plank position with the feet hip distance apart. Again, push the floor away, draw the belly in, and you can either hold it here or lift up the right leg, trying to keep everything else in line. You've noticed the theme here. Keep the belly drawing in, lifting that leg up, both legs straight, glutes are squeezed, the lower abdominals are squeezed, draw the head up away from the mat. And then right leg down and left leg, lifting it up, keeping everything else stable. Squeezing the glutes, draw the belly in, push the floor away, draw the head back. Both legs straight, active. You lift up that leg a little bit more without lifting the hip. And then bring the leg down, drop the knees, and let's rest in whichever variation of child pose is nice for you. Breathing into the back of the body, allowing the forehead to melt down into the floor or into your hands if you're stuck in your hands. Okay, and then draw the belly in and bring yourself up. We're going to come into a side plank. So we'll come first of all onto your left arm and bring the arm perpendicular with your body, and then you've got some options with your legs. So hardest option will be on the side of the foot with hips and legs up. Second option, you can bring that top foot forward to stabilize. Third option, you can bring the bottom knee down to make it a little bit easier, but you're still going to be working here. So choosing your option, pushing the hips up, drawing the belly in, making sure you're not collapsed on this bottom shoulder. And then the top leg, I want you to bring it forwards, using this glute to support the weight of the leg, drawing the belly in. And if you can straighten that leg out, smile, keeping the breath flowing. And then drawing that knee in and coming back and lowering yourself down. Switch over to the other side. You can just roll over if that's easier for you. And again, choose your position. Push the floor away. Really pushing the hips up as much as possible again. Doming a little bit here if you need to. Space between the ear and the shoulder. Drawing the belly in towards the spine. And then we're going to take that top leg up 90 degrees. Keep the breath flowing. And if you can straighten that leg out in front of you. Really keep that belly drawing in, hip up away from the floor, and then reverse and down. And lower yourself down onto the floor. And then just come sit in the center of the moment for a moment. And we'll just stretch out the chest a little bit. Maybe I'll turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So feel free to sit yourself up on a block or something if you need to make it easier. We're going to bring the elbows, working the elbows back towards each other. They probably won't touch unless you're very flexible. And then lift the chest up so that you're going into a back bend and bring the elbows down even more. And you should feel that stretching here across the front of the chest. You can lean back into it a little bit, squeeze the elbows together, bend them a little bit more, lift the chest more. Breathing here. Come onto flat hands if you need to, just finding a position that works for you. Just stretch across the front of the shoulders here. And then coming back up to center. And you can either lay yourself straight down onto your belly, or you can join me again in a plank. Squeeze the glutes, draw the belly in, really push the floor away, head drawing back away from the mat, and then coming down through chaturanga. Tip the body weight forward, elbows in tight, slowly lowering yourself down. Hover in your chaturanga if you can. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your belly. Elbows are in tight towards the body. For another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring yourself down onto the floor, feet hip distance apart, tops of the feet pushing down evenly into the floor. Engage the quadriceps so the kneecaps pop up. Squeeze your glutes. Send the tailbone down, down to the floor. Feel as you do that, that you go into your posterior pelvic tilt, lifts the front of the pelvis up, and thereby lengthens the lower back before we go into the back bend. And bring your hands next to your chest, elbows in, down towards your hips. Squeeze your elbows in, re-engage the glutes, and then lift up into your cobra. Tops of the feet still flat on the floor, quadriceps still engaged, glutes still engaged. Can you squeeze them a little bit more? Send that tailbone down, keep the elbows in and down towards the hips, shoulders away from the ears, keeping the breath flowing. You don't really need to bring the bend into the back, so the gaze can just be forwards, into the neck. And then we're gonna go into a more active cobra, so you're gonna bring your hands down by your hips, lengthen the fingers down towards your hips, squeeze the glutes even more, keep the breath flowing. Can you come up a little bit more, extend the fingers, and then slowly with control, come down, turn your head to the right. Flip your hands so palms facing up, allow the heels to come out to the side, breathe into the back. And then bring your chin forwards, tuck your toes, lift the hips, flip your hands, palms facing down underneath you, and bring the body down on top. If this is very uncomfortable, you can keep the hands with the palms face down either side of your hips, but it will just give you a little bit more leverage if they are underneath the body. Relax the left leg completely, engage the right leg, stretch the toes away, right hip stays on the right arm or on the floor, and then lift that leg up without lifting the hip. So your hip should still be on your arm or on the floor, but then lifting the leg up as much as possible. Don't bend it. Is your left leg still relaxed? Not trying to help and do the work. Lift that leg up a little bit more, and then slowly release it down. Relax the right leg completely, engage the left leg, stretch the toes away, engage the quadricep, kneecap pop up, and then lift the left leg up. Hip is still down on the arm or the floor. The leg is straight, right leg is relaxed. Try not to help out with your right leg. Lift the leg up a little bit more if you can. Breath flowing out. Little sips of air in and out. And then slowly release that leg down. Release your hands, turn your head to the left. Breathe into the back. And then bring your chin forwards, hands either side of your chest. Either push yourself up and back straight into a child's pose, or if you want to go through chaturanga with the toes tucked, engage the legs so that the kneecaps lift up off of the floor. Squeeze the glutes really, really hard. Draw the belly in, elbows back towards the body, and then push. Body lifts up in one piece. Everything stays exactly where it is. Keep pushing up into your back, and then drop your knees and rest in a version of child pose, whatever one you like. Breathe into the back. And then we're going to make our way over onto our backs. So lay yourself down with your feet flat on the floor, relatively close to your hips. And then just windshield wiper the legs, keeping the Feet down and just rolling, massaging over the glutes. Hopefully they've been working. If they haven't, you were doing it wrong. And you can do this fast or slow, whatever feels good for you. And then just hug the knees in towards the chest, keeping the hips and the tailbone down on the floor, so you're not trying to hug them so close in that your tailbone lifts up. In fact, actively push your tailbone down as you draw the knees in, finding again that range in the hips, rather than using your back to help out. And again, here you can give it a roll over the lower back if that feels good. And then bring your feet onto the floor. We get ready for Shavasana. So first of all, lift your chest, draw the shoulder blades down underneath your chest, and the palms to face up towards the ceiling. Push the feet into the floor, lift the pelvis, lengthen the lower back away from you, and then finally allow the legs to stretch out, heels to fall out towards the side. Put a support under your knees if you need to, and just make any final adjustments so that you can be comfortable and still for the next few minutes as we rest in Shavasana. Bringing the awareness down into your toes, the soles of the feet, the tops of the feet. Bringing the awareness into your ankles, your shins and calves, into your knees and thighs. Feeling the weight of the body sinking down as the muscles let go. Bring your awareness to the pelvis, the hips, and up through the torso. Feeling the points of contact where the hips and the upper back and the shoulders touch the ground. And feeling the space between the lower back of the neck and the ground. Bring the awareness to the belly and the chest, relaxing all those abdominal muscles. Chest and abdomen are broad and soft. Bring the awareness to the shoulders and down through the arms and the hands. Noticing the sensations in the palm of the hands and the fingers. And then bring your awareness into your neck and head, relaxing the jaw, the lips, the nose and cheeks. Relaxing, softening the eyes and the eyelids, the eyebrows, and the forehead. And then bring your awareness to your breathing, feeling the gentle movement of the abdomen. You inhale and exhale. And noticing if the mind wanders, which is what it likes to do. Just bringing your awareness gently back to the body, to the breath. Noticing again what it feels like to lay here in Shavasana. You can stay here for longer if you wish to. I'll start to bring the breath back to a deeper level, taking a couple of deep, full breaths into the belly, really filling the lungs, and start to invite some movement gradually into the body, wiggling the toes and the fingers, the feet, the hands, the legs and arms. And take a big stretch if that feels good to you, lengthening the torso. And then when you're ready, making your way back to a seated position, sit cross-legged or on your knees, resting your hands on your legs so you can bring them into a prayer position by your chest. Close your eyes, bow your chin, take a moment to notice yourself, to give thanks, and then raise your head. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone, for taking the time to practice.